Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a close look at the legal situation around Sean Diddy Combs, specifically the recent court stuff involving Cassie Ventura's allegations. We really want to understand the key developments here.
Yeah, and for this deep dive, our source is a transcript from Celebrity Buzz on YouTube. It gives us this really raw, sort of immediate feel for a recent court session, like we're almost listening in.
Exactly. And for you listening, we want to pull out the most important pieces. What are the really significant things coming out of this courtroom? What might these details tell us about the allegations? And maybe the most fascinating part, what about the family dynamics? What's going on inside Diddy's family with all this unfolding?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's maybe start with the atmosphere. What was it like in that courtroom?
Well, the transcript immediately gives you this sense of emotional weight. Just the fact that Diddy's 6 children were there right at the beginning, that really sets a powerful scene.
Yeah.
And Cassie's testimony is described as, quote, very emotional and really tough to hear. So that right away highlights how serious these allegations are.
And then you have Diddy's daughters, Chance, Delilah, and Jessie. They seem to be there for emotional support at first.
Right.
But that apparently didn't last. The transcript mentions them leaving abruptly, in tears, right after a video was shown. That makes you wonder, what could possibly have been on that video?
Well, that leads us straight to what the prosecutor called pivotal evidence. It's this previously unseen video apparently showing footage from one of these controversial freak-offs.
Okay.
The prosecution seems to think this video is key to showing things like coercion, forcing someone to do something, or maybe fraud, or just plain force, all central to Cassie's claims.
And it wasn't just talked about, right? It was actually admitted as evidence.
Yes, officially admitted.
Yeah.
And the transcript describes this really heavy mood among the Combs family when that happened. Like they knew they were about to see something, quote, irreversible. It paints quite a picture. And the daughter's reactions right then are, well, they're telling. Delilah covering Jesse's eyes, but Justin keeps watching. It kind of suggests different levels of maybe awareness or just different ways of coping within the family.
Yeah, that contrast is really interesting.
It really is.
And then there's testimony about drives found, with more videos.
That's right. Witness testimony mentioned 8 videos featuring 8 celebrities, 6 men, 2 women at these Diddy freak-offs or parties. It suggests this wasn't a one-off thing. And kind of a side note, there was also mention of an alleged manuscript for a Kim Porter memoir found on the drive. Her kids insist it's fake, apparently. So that's another potential thread hanging out there.
Interesting. But the main focus was Cassie's testimony about the freak-offs, right?
Exactly. She said Sean Combs Diddy introduced the term about a year into their relationship. He apparently called it voyeurism, but Cassie's account, it sounds much, much darker.
Yeah, she called them meticulously planned gatherings orchestrated by Diddy where he held absolute control. That phrase alone is pretty chilling.
It is, and the details she gave really emphasized that alleged control. Dictating what she wore, stuff from specialty stores, he picked out himself. The lighting, the specific acts performed, even like how much baby oil was used, it sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredibly dehumanizing.
Definitely. And she said she felt trapped, threatened if she refused.
That's what she testified to, which really underscores the coercion aspect, according to her account, and the length of these things. 36 to 72 hours, sometimes even 4 days, happening weekly.
Wow.
She said it felt, quote, like a mandatory part of my life.
And she wasn't just participating, she was allegedly forced to organize them too. Finding people on Craigslist, arranging travel, working with his team, but under false pretenses.
Yeah, that's the picture she painted. Someone deeply caught up in it, but against her will.
And the control over the environment. Candles 1 minute, professional stage lighting the next. Choreographing everything.
Yeah.
Demanding drugs.
It all builds this image of absolute authority and manipulation. It really makes you ask, what does that level of alleged control suggest about his mindset and his relationships?
So then we come to the video that seemed to trigger the daughter's exit. The White Party archive from 2018.
Right. Cassie's lawyer asks to play it. Initially, it sounds like, typical celebrity excess, big mansion by the sea, neon lights, music, lots of people.
Standard stuff for that kind of party, maybe.
Maybe. But the transcript says it quickly shifted from that surface glamour to the, quote, dark underbelly, showing compromising acts, celebrities, others, illicit substances, unethical behavior.
And Cassie again says she was forced to organize it all, recruiting people.
Yes, and driven by fear that Diddy would release compromising videos of her if she didn't comply. She called it his insurance.
But the really crucial moment, the one that seems to have hit the daughter so hard, was when the video showed Kim Porter.
Exactly. That seems to be the turning point. Kim Porter, seated on a couch, eyes described as vacant, like she wasn't even aware she was being filmed.
And the reaction in the courtroom.
Immediate. Visceral. Delilah covering her mouth, both twins apparently going motionless and pale. Delilah gripping Jesse's hand, their eyes just showing, quote, panic, anguish, and indescribable betrayal as they looked at their mother on the screen. It must have been awful.
God, yeah. And the description of Kim Porter herself. Hollow gaze, disoriented, near unconscious state. That's deeply disturbing.
It really is. And it inevitably raises that question, doesn't it?
Right.
Though it's not confirmed, it makes you wonder if her death, officially ruled pneumonia in 2018, was really just an accident.
And there was some weird mention of pillow fighting stuff. What was that about?
You know, the source mentions it in relation to Kim Porter, but doesn't really explain it. It's just this bizarre, unsettling detail thrown in there that adds to the ambiguity and the unease around her depiction in that video.
Right, and Diddy's reaction to the video being shown.
Explosive, apparently. Slamming the table, yelling, "Stop the video now," saying his children were present. It clearly hit a nerve.
Which is when the daughters left?
Immediately. Emotionally. You could hear their cries, according to the transcript. And others in the room reacted too. A juror apparently got emotional. A reporter called it a tragedy.
And that whispered question from Jesse, why was Mom there? Just hanging there, wow. So much pain and confusion.
Exactly. A really powerful, heavy moment described in the transcript.
Okay, so after that incredibly intense moment, the defense cross-examines Cassie. What was their angle?
Well, Diddy's lawyer tried to challenge her portrayal of herself as having, no agency, pointing out the luxurious lifestyle, the career opportunities she had while with him. It's a common defense tactic, trying to question the accuser's credibility or suggest they benefited from the situation.
How did Cassie respond to that?
Pretty resolutely, it sounds like. She said, "I didn't choose, I was coerced. It was the price I paid to survive. He controlled everything. I had no choice." She really pushed back hard on the idea she was a willing participant.
Did the lawyer bring up Kim Porter again?
Yes. Asked if Cassie collaborated with Kim in organizing these freak-offs, suggesting they were both willing participants.
And Cassie's response?
A firm no. She said, "Kim was trapped just like me. We weren't complicit. We were victims of the same system." So she framed it as shared victimhood, not collaboration. The transcript notes Diddy looked uneasy during this, even though he stayed seated.
This whole situation really shines a light on the family dynamics, which seem incredibly complicated and, frankly, kind of surprising.
Absolutely. The fact that the daughters were even there was apparently a surprise, given Diddy had reportedly forbidden it. That alone suggests maybe a shift in power or loyalties fracturing.
And there's speculation that Justin and Chance might have actually arranged for the sisters to be there to confront their father.
That's the speculation mentioned, yeah. And the different reactions add fuel to that fire. Delilah and Jesse's obvious distress versus Chance and Justin seeming more stoic, composed. It makes you wonder what they each believe or what their motives might be.
The transcript gives a bit of background on Chance, Diddy's daughter with Sarah Chapman.
Right. It mentions she reportedly felt a bit isolated, didn't have those warm, fuzzy memories of Kim Porter that the twins might have. This context is offered as maybe explaining her different reaction in court.
And Justin, the eldest son.
He's portrayed as this sharp, cold strategist, someone who sees the family almost like a game of chess, a power struggle. His past experiences navigating scandals has supposedly shaped him.
And the suggestion is he might have influenced Chance, planted seeds of doubt about their father, especially regarding Kim Porter.
That's the narrative presented. That he might have seen Chance's vulnerability, or maybe her lack of strong ties to Kim's memory, as an opening to question things, whether for truth or, as some speculate, maybe out of some long-held resentment.
So allegedly, Chance then convinced Delilah and Jesse to come to court, but maybe didn't tell them the full story about what they might see.
That's the scenario hinted at. A family really tangled up in secrets and suspicion. Maybe new alliances forming.
And the rumors about Justin potentially leaking that 2018 video to Cassie's lawyer, arranging security for Cassie, that's pretty explosive stuff, if true.
It's extraordinary, yeah. And that alleged text message from him, "She's the only one who can speak the truth," really points towards his potential stance, his possible motivations here.
And then back in the courtroom during Diddy's outburst, Chance just stares him down. while Justin looks almost satisfied.
That's the dramatic picture painted. Chance with unflinching eyes demanding answers, and Justin looking on with chilling satisfaction as things unravel. Though it also mentions a pang of fading love for his father in Justin, which adds this layer of tragic complexity.
It's intense, and the public is obviously reacting strongly online.
Oh yeah, hashtags like #SkimPorterTruth and #DiddySecrets trending. Lots of praise for Cassie's courage too. People are clearly invested.
And people are asking why it was Chance and Justin, not Kim's biological kids with Diddy, who apparently made sure the twins were there.
Right, that highlights those unusual family dynamics again. It feeds into the speculation about Justin maybe using Chance's own emotional situation for his own ends, perhaps revenge. It's all very murky.
Ultimately, this trial feels like it's becoming about more than just the specific legal claims, doesn't it?
Offs It's being framed as this stark warning about power manipulation, about the secrets hidden behind the glamorous facade of the entertainment world. Those freak-offs become symbols of alleged absolute control and the potential for abuse that comes with that kind of power.
And the impact of seeing Kim Porter in that state on her daughters, it's just devastating.
Undeniable. And it leaves these huge questions hanging. Were these freak-offs part of some wider criminal network? Was Kim Porter's death really just an accident? These are the big unknowns fueling all the public interest and speculation.
Yeah. And the challenge, as we've explored here, is trying to unravel the truth behind someone who was for so long seen as this cultural icon, now facing these incredibly serious allegations, with his family seemingly fracturing around him. It forces a total reevaluation.
So to kind of wrap up, this court session brought some major revelations, especially the impact of that video evidence and Cassie's really detailed, disturbing testimony about the freak-offs.
Right.
And the actions of the children, particularly Chance and Justin, were unexpected and possibly calculated. It really highlights the incredibly complex, maybe even toxic, family dynamics going on.
So it leaves us circling back to those initial questions, doesn't it? What have we really learned about the allegations against Diddy? And what do the family's reactions, their potential motivations, tell us about the hidden realities behind the scenes?
Exactly. So maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. Beyond the legal battle, beyond the celebrity aspect, what does this glimpse into this world reveal about the maybe hidden costs of fame and immense influence? What other questions does this evidence bring up for you about the stories we're told about public figures and what might actually be going on beneath that shiny surface?